Have you ever noticed how your body just doesn't respond the same way it used to after certain meals? Maybe you feel unusually tired, a bit foggy in the head, or even slightly bloated after eating something that never bothered you before. You might brush it off as normal aging, but what if I told you it's not just age, it's your food that's silently working against you? There's something that many people over 65 are eating every single day, without realizing the damage it's causing. And the doctors who study senior health know this one thing is accelerating weakness, inflammation, and chronic fatigue in millions of older adults. You've probably got it in your kitchen right now. You might have eaten it this morning, but by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is and how to stop it before it drains your energy even further. See, when we hit our 60s, the rules start to change. What used to work for us no longer does. Our metabolism slows down, our digestion becomes more sensitive, and even the way our bodies process sugar, fat, and sodium becomes less forgiving. It's not your fault, but if you keep eating the same way you did 20 years ago, you're giving your body more work than it can handle. So today, I want to help you protect your energy, your strength, and your independence, starting with what you put on your plate. Because while aging is natural, weakness isn't. There's a difference between growing older and growing weaker. And a big part of that comes down to the daily foods we trust without question. Let me tell you what's really going on. The number one culprit doctors are quietly warning about isn't some rare chemical or fancy packaged snack. It's something most people over 65 consume regularly, thinking it's completely harmless, even helpful. But in reality, it's silently aging your body from the inside out. That enemy, processed carbohydrates, especially white bread, pastries, and sugary cereals. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't enjoy food. But here's the truth. After 65, your body becomes more sensitive to blood sugar spikes. Foods like white bread, pasta, and cookies quickly convert to sugar in your bloodstream, forcing your pancreas to work overtime just to manage it. And over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, weight gain, joint inflammation, and even memory decline. It's a slow erosion. You don't feel it right away, but that afternoon slump you blame on age, that foggy feeling after breakfast, that stiffness in your knees, these could all be connected to one simple thing you're eating daily without thinking twice. So what can you do? First, replace the processed carbs with fiber-rich options. Swap white bread for sprouted grain or oat-based bread. Choose steel-cut oats over sugary cereals. And if you're craving something sweet, reach for fresh fruit instead of packaged snacks. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about protecting your energy and clarity. Second, pay attention to portion sizes. As we age, we need fewer calories but more nutrients. One big mistake many seniors make is eating the same portions they did in their 40s or 50s. But your body's engine runs differently now. It needs quality fuel, not excess. Third, and this one is simple but powerful, start your day with a glass of water before anything else. You'd be surprised how many symptoms we blame on age, like fatigue, headaches, and poor digestion, are really just signs of dehydration. Your body is about 60% water, and as we age, we lose the natural cues that tell us we're thirsty. So if you're not intentionally hydrating, your body's silently suffering. Just think about it. How much more energy would you have if your blood sugar stayed stable, your digestion improved, and your joints weren't inflamed from poor food choices? And here's something you might not hear often. It's never too late to make changes. Even small shifts can lead to powerful results. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s regain their energy, stabilize their mood, and even sleep better, all because they cut out one or two harmful foods and replaced them with better choices. Your body wants to heal, it just needs your cooperation. Let me ask you this: how do you want to feel in the years ahead? Strong and energized, or stuck in a cycle of pills and fatigue? The choice starts with your next meal. But here's the real secret. Food doesn't just affect your body, it affects your mind too. What you eat has a direct impact on your memory, your clarity, and even your mood. That's why in the next part of this video, we're going to talk about how certain foods can either sharpen or dull your mind as you age. Because protecting your physical body is just the first step. If you want to truly stay independent, alert, and in control of your life, you've got to take care of your brain as well. So stay with me, because what we're about to dive into next might surprise you. And if you've ever found yourself forgetting where you place something, struggling to concentrate, or feeling foggy after meals, what you learn next could be the turning point. Let's talk about how your diet affects your brain and what you can start doing today to stay sharp, alert, and fully present as the years go on. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went in there? Or maybe you found yourself searching for a word that used to come easily, only to give up with a frustrated sigh. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know you are not alone. And more importantly, it doesn't mean your mind is slipping away. It means your brain needs a little extra support, especially now. The truth is, just like our bodies change with age, so does our brain. Memory lapses, slower reaction times, and occasional confusion. These aren't signs of failure. They're signals that your brain is craving better fuel, more stimulation, and a bit of gentle care. Let's go back to what we said earlier. The foods you eat can either help your mind stay sharp or slowly dull it without you even noticing. And unfortunately, the most common brain-dulling foods are also the ones found in most pantries, those sugary snacks, processed meals, and high-sodium comfort foods. They cause inflammation in the body, and that inflammation doesn't stop at your joints, it can reach your brain. But here's the good news. Just as food can harm your brain, it can also heal it, and it doesn't take some fancy supplement or a complicated plan. Just a few simple changes can make a big difference in how clearly you think and how confidently you live. One of the first things I recommend is increasing your intake of healthy fats. Your brain is made up of about 60% fat, so it thrives on good sources of omega-3s like walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, and especially fatty fish like salmon or sardines. These healthy fats help reduce inflammation, support memory function, and even protect against cognitive decline. And if fish isn't your thing, that's okay. You can still nourish your brain with plant-based sources. Just make sure you're including them regularly. Think of them like oil for your brain's engine. It keeps everything running smoothly. Now let's talk about something equally important: mental exercise. See, your brain is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. But when you challenge it, even in small ways, it responds. It adapts, it grows. Simple activities like crossword puzzles, Sudoku, or learning a new card game can spark neural connections. Reading every day, even just for 20 minutes, can improve focus and reduce the risk of cognitive decline. And if you really want a mental boost, try learning something completely new, a different language, a musical instrument, even a new recipe. These moments of effort stretch your brain in the best way. But stimulation isn't just about puzzles or hobbies. It's also about people. Staying socially connected is one of the most powerful things you can do for your brain. Conversations with friends, family, or even neighbors challenge your brain in a way screens never can. They force you to recall memories, respond emotionally, and stay engaged. And that keeps your brain alive. I know some people feel isolated as they get older, especially if family members live far away or friends have passed on. But connection doesn't have to mean big crowds. Even a weekly phone call, a book club, or a walk with a neighbor can do wonders. And let's not forget the role of sleep. Your brain needs quality rest to function well. During deep sleep, your brain clears out toxins that build up during the day, including the ones linked to memory loss and dementia. If you're having trouble sleeping, try cutting out caffeine after noon, lowering the lights before bedtime, and turning off screens at least an hour before bed. And remember, food plays a role here too. Eating heavy meals late at night can make it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. Now I know what you might be thinking. All of this sounds good, but I've already started to feel the effects of aging. Is it too late for me? And my answer is always the same. It is never too late. Your brain is constantly adapting, constantly rewiring itself. The changes you make today can still have a powerful impact tomorrow. Even if you start small, adding some walnuts to your breakfast, doing a quick puzzle in the afternoon, or reaching out to an old friend, you're building something. You're investing in your clarity, your independence, and your quality of life. Because at the end of the day, mental sharpness isn't just about remembering where you put your keys. It's about staying connected to the world around you. It's about confidence in conversations, It's about continuing to grow, even when the world expects you to slow down. And let me say this, you deserve that clarity. You deserve to feel proud of your memory, excited about learning, and confident in your thoughts. Don't let anyone tell you that mental decline is inevitable. It's not, but it does require action. So now we've touched on how food, movement, and connection all play a role in your brain's health. But there's another layer to all of this, your emotional well-being. Because even with the best diet and sharpest memory, if your spirit is tired, your body and mind will eventually follow. That's why in the next part, we're going to talk about emotional strength, the quiet engine behind everything else. I want to share with you some powerful ways to protect your peace, reclaim your joy, and nurture the part of you that still wants to feel deeply alive. Because aging gracefully isn't just about keeping your body strong or your mind sharp, it's about keeping your heart open. And that's exactly where we're going next. Have you ever felt like you were just going through the motions? You wake up, do the same routine, eat the same meals, maybe sit in the same chair, but somewhere deep down you feel like something's missing. Not physically, but emotionally. Like there's a quiet sadness that nobody sees. A heaviness that doesn't come from age but from feeling forgotten, unneeded, or invisible. If you've ever felt that way, I want you to know this, you are not alone. And more importantly, you are not done. Just because you've entered a new chapter of life doesn't mean you stop feeling, stop dreaming, or stop needing emotional care. In fact, your emotional health now matters more than ever. See, we spend so much of our lives taking care of others, raising families, building careers, holding everything together. But then comes a moment, sometimes all of a sudden, when it gets quiet, when the phone rings less, when the house feels a little too still. And it's in that quiet that we realize our emotions still need tending. Our hearts still need care. Aging doesn't erase your need to feel joy, connection, purpose. It simply makes those things more urgent. And yet, many people over 65 don't talk about their emotional health. They downplay the sadness. They hide the loneliness. They think, well, I should be grateful, or it's just part of getting older. But here's the truth. Being grateful and being honest about your feelings can coexist. You can appreciate what you have and still feel the weight of what's missing. That's not weakness. That's being human. And healing starts with acknowledging that. So how do we protect our emotional health as we age? It begins with something beautifully simple, gratitude. I know, it may sound small, but don't underestimate it. Every morning before you get out of bed, take a few seconds to name 3 things you're grateful for. Not big, dramatic things, just the little joys. The way sunlight warms your pillow, the sound of birds outside your window, a call you got from a grandchild. Gratitude shifts your focus. It reminds your brain to see what's still good, still working, still beautiful. And when practiced consistently, it rewires the way you experience your days. Suddenly, instead of feeling like life is passing you by, you start noticing that life is still happening all around you. Another essential tool for emotional strength, self-care. And no, I don't mean fancy spas or expensive routines. I mean giving yourself permission to matter. I mean making time, real time, for things that light you up. Ask yourself, when was the last time I did something just because it made me happy? When did I last sit outside with a cup of tea and let the sun touch my face? When did I take a slow walk without rushing, just to enjoy being alive? These aren't luxuries, they're emotional necessities. You've spent decades taking care of everything and everyone else. Now your soul needs you, not in a loud, dramatic way, but in the quiet choices you make every day. Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's planting flowers, maybe it's listening to music from your younger days that stirs something inside you. Whatever it is, do it without guilt. Because emotional health isn't just about feeling good, it's about staying whole. Let me also say this, if you're grieving, you're allowed to take your time. Whether it's the loss of a person, a lifestyle, or even your former self, grief is not a weakness, it's a process. And rushing it won't help, but ignoring it, that slowly drains your spirit. Talk to someone, a friend, a counselor. Even writing in a private journal can help. You don't have to carry everything alone. Now let's talk about connection again. But this time from an emotional angle. It's so easy to isolate as we get older, especially if your circle has gotten smaller. But isolation isn't just lonely, it's dangerous for your health. Studies show that emotional isolation can increase the risk of depression, heart disease, and even memory decline. That's why it's so important to keep reaching out, even when it feels awkward, even when your pride says, "Don't bother anyone." You're not a burden, you're a blessing, and your presence still matters more than you know. Pick up the phone, write a letter, visit a community center, say yes to invitations, even if you're tired. Show up, because sometimes that's all it takes to feel human again. And while we're on the topic of connection, don't forget the connection you have with yourself. Speak to yourself kindly. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself when no one else is around. If you find that your inner voice is harsh or critical, change it. Start speaking to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you love, because you deserve that gentleness too. And here's something many people forget: laughter heals. I mean, really, it boosts your immune system, lowers stress hormones, and even improves blood flow. So don't hold back that giggle. Watch a funny movie, share old stories with friends, let yourself laugh, even if your day has been heavy. Laughter reminds us that joy hasn't left the building. It's still there, waiting to be invited in. At the end of the day, emotional health isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about creating space for what's real, both the joy and the sorrow, and learning how to keep moving forward with both in your hands. So if your heart has been heavy lately, I want you to remember this: you are still growing, still worthy, still powerful. No matter your age, your emotions are valid, your joy is valid, your healing is possible. And now that we've tended to the heart and mind, let's go even deeper. Because your daily choices, your habits are shaping the next chapter of your life, whether you realize it or not. In the next part, we're going to talk about the simple daily habits that can either build you up or slowly break you down. These aren't complicated routines. They're tiny decisions that create a powerful ripple effect over time. You've already made the first choice by being here. Now let's talk about how to build a daily rhythm that keeps you strong, steady, and full of life, one small step at a time. So now that we've cared for your emotional health, the part of you that feels, hopes, and carries memories, let's shift our focus to something just as important: your daily habits. Because whether you realize it or not, your future is being built right now, quietly, by the small choices you make every single day. Have you ever noticed how one little thing, a short walk, a glass of water, a conversation with a friend, can completely shift your mood? That's no accident. That's the power of habit. And after 65, those habits become the difference between slowly fading and fully thriving. See, you don't need a total life overhaul to feel better. You just need a few smart, sustainable choices that you repeat consistently. Your body is still listening, still adjusting, still responding. You just have to speak its language. And the best way to do that is through daily care. Let's start with something incredibly simple, yet often overlooked: sunlight. Just 10 to 15 minutes of natural sunlight each day, especially in the morning, can do wonders for your health. It boosts your vitamin D, which supports your bones, your immune system, and even your mood. If you can, step outside shortly after waking up. Let the light touch your face. Breathe deeply. It's a small act, but it reconnects you with the rhythm of nature, and that rhythm is healing. Now I want to talk to you about movement, but not in a way that overwhelms or pressures you. You don't need to run marathons or hit the gym. What your body craves now is consistency, not intensity. A simple 10-minute walk after breakfast or dinner, a few stretches while watching TV, even standing up every hour to shake out your legs. These small moments of motion improve blood flow, strengthen your heart, and help keep your muscles from stiffening. And don't underestimate the power of stretching. Just 5 minutes of gentle stretches each morning can reduce joint pain, increase flexibility, and improve balance, something that becomes more important with each passing year. It's like giving your body a morning thank you before the day begins. Now let's talk about the kitchen. You already know processed foods can harm your health, especially after 65. But the flip side is just as powerful. Certain foods can actively support your energy, clarity, and longevity. Start with adding color to your plate. Bright vegetables like spinach, carrots, red peppers, and berries are loaded with antioxidants. These nutrients fight the inflammation that contributes to fatigue, arthritis, and even memory decline. Think of your plate as a garden. The more color you have, the more nourishment you're giving your body. And don't skip protein. Many older adults unintentionally eat too little protein, which can lead to muscle loss and weakness. Incorporate beans, eggs, yogurt, lentils, or fish into your meals regularly. It doesn't have to be complicated, just consistent. One of the biggest daily shifts you can make: limiting added sugars. You don't need to cut everything sweet from your life, but start reading labels. Sugar hides in places you wouldn't expect. Salad dressings, sauces, even breads. Swap sugary snacks for fruit, or drink water instead of juice or soda. Your body will thank you with more stable energy, clearer thinking, and less inflammation. And speaking of water, I can't stress this enough. Staying hydrated is one of the simplest and most powerful habits for seniors. Aim to sip water throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty. Dehydration can cause fatigue, dizziness, headaches, and even confusion. And many people over 65 don't feel thirst as strongly, making it easy to overlook. Create a small ritual around it. Keep a glass by your bed. Take a few sips every hour. Use a favorite cup or bottle that reminds you it's important. Hydration isn't just about preventing problems. It's about boosting every function in your body, from digestion to brain clarity. Another overlooked daily habit: sleep hygiene. As we get older, sleep can become lighter, more fragmented, and harder to maintain. But your body still needs rest, deep restorative sleep to heal and function properly. Start by setting a consistent bedtime and wake-up time. Limit screen time an hour before bed. Keep your room dark, quiet, and cool. Avoid heavy meals late in the evening. And if you need a calming wind-down routine, try reading, listening to soft music, or journaling your thoughts. These simple habits signal to your brain that it's time to rest. And let's not forget the emotional impact of routine. Routines create structure. They give your mind something to count on. In a world that often feels unpredictable, that sense of rhythm is grounding. Even something as simple as having a morning routine, a warm drink, a few stretches, writing down what you're thankful for, can shape your entire day. Remember, these habits don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do them all at once. What matters is that you do something, one thing, each day, that tells your body and mind, I'm still in this. I still care. Because the truth is, after 65, your habits are your medicine. The doctor may give you prescriptions, but what you choose to do with your time, what you eat, how you move, when you rest, who you talk to, those are the real decisions that shape your health. You've come so far in life. You've built wisdom, resilience, stories, and strength. And now these small daily choices are how you protect all of that. They're how you stay strong enough to enjoy what matters, to play with grandkids, to take that trip, to dance in your kitchen, to live, not just exist. And speaking of the future, in the next part of this video, we're going to shift from daily habits to something even more powerful: your legacy. Because yes, your health matters, your habits matter, but your story, what you leave behind, the impact you make, the way you choose to live from this point forward, that's the deeper layer. That's what gives all of this meaning. So stay with me. Because next we're going to talk about how to plan for a life that not only feels good day to day, but leaves something beautiful behind. You've done a lot of living, more than most people realize. And when you stop and think about it, really think, you've carried generations forward. You've made sacrifices. You've loved deeply. You've held things together when no one else knew how. And now is the time to ask one of the most important questions of all. What do I want this next chapter to mean? Have you thought about the legacy you're leaving behind? Not just in terms of money or property, but in terms of the memories, the values, the example. Because here's the truth. Legacy isn't just something that happens when we're gone. It's being written in the way you live today. Sometimes we assume the later years are for slowing down, pulling back, fading into the background. But I believe, and I hope you believe this too, this season of life holds a deeper kind of power, a quieter, richer kind, One that doesn't come from being fast or flashy, but from being wise, intentional, and fully alive. So let's talk about the future. Not with fear, not with hesitation, but with purpose. Start by asking yourself this: what brings me joy now? Not what used to bring you joy. Not what people expect. What genuinely lights you up now? Maybe it's traveling, finally seeing that place you've dreamed about for years. Maybe it's learning something new, or reconnecting with an old friend, or passing on a skill to your grandchildren. Maybe it's just waking up slowly, sipping coffee on the porch, and listening to the birds sing. Joy doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be real. And whatever that thing is, don't wait. Make space for it. Don't tell yourself it's too late or you're too old. That mindset steals more life than time ever could. Now let's talk about something practical, yet deeply powerful: financial peace. Not wealth for the sake of having more, but stability. The kind of stability that lets you rest at night, that lets you say yes to the things you care about without fear, that lets you bless others if you choose. Take some time, maybe even after this video, to review your budget. Look at your spending habits. Are they aligned with the life you want to live? Are there small changes you could make to free up a little more peace? And while you're at it, think about the people you love. Do they know your wishes? Have you written things down? Your health preferences, your values, even just the little things you'd want them to remember. You don't have to be facing a crisis to have these conversations. In fact, the best time to plan is when things are calm. There's something deeply empowering about being prepared. It puts you in the driver's seat. It replaces fear with clarity. And it reminds you that your life, your story is still in your hands. But your legacy isn't just about documents or details. It's about connection. It's about showing up for the people you love in the time you still have. And yes, that includes forgiving old hurts, making that phone call, saying the thing that's been sitting on your heart for too long. You see, the most meaningful legacy often isn't found in what we leave behind. It's in how we make people feel while we're still here. Did we make them feel seen, loved, safe, inspired? These are the things that last longer than money or medals. These are the stories they'll tell about you, the feeling they'll carry when they think of your name. And don't forget, your story still has unwritten pages. Just because you're in your 60s, 70s, or even beyond doesn't mean it's time to step out of the spotlight. In fact, the world needs your voice more than ever, your wisdom, your calm, your clarity. So if there's something you've been meaning to do, start it. If there's a lesson you've been carrying, teach it. If there's a message inside you, speak it. You are not here by accident, and you're not finished yet. Now, if all this feels a bit overwhelming, take a breath. You don't have to change everything overnight, but take one step, write one note, start one small ritual that brings you closer to the life you want to leave behind. It's like planting seeds. Some will bloom quickly, others might take time, but they all matter. And while we've talked about the future today, I want to remind you of something even more important: the present. Because planning for what's ahead is wise, but truly living the day you've been given, that's sacred. That's where we're headed next. In this final part of our journey, we'll talk about how to embrace the present moment, how to stop waiting for the right time, and start living fully right here, right now. Because no matter your age, today is a gift, and you still have so much life left to live. If there's one thing time teaches us, it's this: life doesn't wait. Moments don't ask for permission. They come and they go. And far too often we spend those moments looking backward, at what was, or forward at what might be, instead of truly being where we are. But the most important chapter of your story isn't yesterday. It's not even tomorrow. It's today, right now, this exact breath. So let me ask you something that most people don't pause to consider. Are you truly living today, or are you simply existing, passing time, going through routines, waiting for something to change? Because here's the truth: life isn't measured in the number of years we live. It's measured in the number of days we're truly present. The mornings where you notice the sunrise, the laughs you share, the music you feel, the tears you let fall. Those are the moments that matter, not just in memory, but in meaning. And no matter your age, Those moments are still yours to claim. It doesn't matter if you're 66 or 96, you are still here, which means you still have purpose, you still have choice, and you still have power. Power to wake up and say, today I will live. Not because everything is perfect, not because you feel like a teenager again, but because today is yours, and that's enough reason to make it count. So how do you begin? Start small. Start close. Start with the breath you're taking right now. Take one slow, deep inhale. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind pause. Let yourself arrive. Then choose one thing you'll do today, not for duty, but for joy. Maybe it's stepping outside for a walk, just to feel the sun. Maybe it's making a phone call to someone you've been missing. Maybe it's turning on music and letting your body move. Maybe it's simply sitting still, with your hands in your lap, and whispering a quiet thank you for another day. It doesn't have to be grand. Presence lives in the simple things, and the more you practice being present, the more you begin to realize that aging doesn't have to feel like fading. In fact, it can feel like awakening, like finally seeing what's been in front of you all along. Because so much of our lives are spent waiting, aren't they? Waiting for retirement, waiting for the kids to grow up, waiting for the weekend, the diagnosis, the weather to change. But somewhere along the way, we forget that the wait is the life. And once you realize that, you stop waiting and start living. You start making peace with the wrinkles and the slower pace. You stop chasing youth and start embracing now. You let go of what you can't control and lean into what you can, your attention, your attitude, your ability to choose joy. And that joy, it's powerful. It heals, it attracts, it inspires the people around you, especially the younger ones who are quietly watching how you live. You're setting an example, even now. Whether you realize it or not, your presence is teaching others how to age with grace, with courage, and with heart. So speak your story, laugh loudly, dance slowly, cry when you need to, celebrate small victories, rest without guilt, and above all, don't let age become your excuse to stop living. Let it become your reason to live even more boldly, because you are the sum of everything you've survived, every choice, every tear, every sunrise you've seen. You've earned this moment, and the world still needs you in it, fully. There's something I want you to remember as we close this journey together. You are not a burden, you are a blessing. You're not too late, you're right on time, and your story, no matter how many pages have already been written, still has room for beauty, laughter, change, and impact. So as you move forward from this video, take one thing with you. Don't wait for life to give you a reason to live. Be the reason. Wake up tomorrow and say, I will not shrink into the shadows. I will not disappear quietly. I will live. I will love. I will leave light wherever I go. And if you ever start to forget your power, come back to this moment. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're blooming right on time. And before you go, I want to leave you with a gentle challenge. What's one thing you can do today, just one, that brings you peace or joy or connection? Maybe it's writing in a journal. Maybe it's trying a new recipe. Maybe it's walking barefoot in the grass. Whatever it is, don't push it off. Do it today. Your life isn't waiting on some big miracle. It's waiting on one small decision from you. And if this video reminded you that you're still growing, still choosing, still becoming, let us know in the comments below. What spoke to your heart? What are you going to do differently starting now? And please share this with someone you care about, because we all need reminders that life after 65 isn't the end. It's a new beginning. Don't forget to subscribe for more guidance, more hope, and more strength for your journey ahead. You're not alone, and you are absolutely not done.